against the war.
It never impinged on my own personal life. I like baseball.
It was Henry Ford who said, history is bunk. And there was something I liked about that, the music of that, because we all rewrite our history and the history of the things around us in ways that make it more bearable, I think, for us.
And I have an idea, I may be wrong in this, that his wife was a communist, and that his wife had influenced him, as any wife does, as you know.
The first thing that made me fascinated with this were the witnesses. I thought it was just such a great idea.
I think he felt quite correctly that one of the big problems in doing any kind of historical film, particularly like a historical epic like this was intended to be, was the deathly undramatic and unrealistic nature of historical exposition. That you don't want to have a character saying, well, Bob, now that we're in World War I and the Germans are on the other side and the English are our allies, and that's the death of realism in any kind of film. And I think he had a brilliant idea. He said, well, we'll face it head on. We'll just have talking heads come right in and say, this was World War I.
Imagine 65 million go to war, right? 10 million die, 10 million become orphaned, 20 million become maimed, crippled, or wounded.
And so that the dialogue and the dramatic action doesn't have to carry the weight of that exposition. And basically what we did was we took out ads in newspapers all over the country, queries. Warren Beatty would like to meet anyone who knew John Reed or Louise Bryant. And we got thousands of letters. And so my first job was to go through them all. And once I'd spoken to everyone and knew who we wanted, then I traveled around the country, pre-interviewing, meeting every single person that we considered plausible.
I feel like one of our witness in Reds. I remember the time that I was having this camera, a big camera like a Mitchell. Everything was black around, just one light. And I have those people remember the time they were new in John Reed and Louise Bryant.
Jack Reed was in the class, several classes ahead of me. As you know, I never graduated. I saved my money and took third-year work.
Can you tell me what the First World War was all about?
Well, the first, as far as we were concerned.
Anybody, and us.
I feel you're terribly disappointed at something I've said, but I don't know what...
I'm not disappointed at all. You're probably deceived by my silences. It's because I don't want to hear the sound of my own voice on the soundtrack.
The process was really to try to engage the person in a comfortable dialogue and to shut up when they were talking so that it wouldn't go over their track, and at the same time try to lure them into using the proper name or the place or the identity that would supply the exposition that I needed, that would then save me from having to write a 3-minute scene to bring up an issue in the movie.
Well, now, wait a minute. Now, that's very good, because I'd like to bring John Reed into that.
It was a little like fishing, You just hope that, they said the word, now let's bring it in. And I remember George Jessel